Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. I'm going to continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 23, Text 29. Canto 4, Chapter 23, Text 29. Maitriya Vacha.
Maitriya Uvacha.
Tuvatishva Amarastrishu.
Stuvatishu Amarastrishu.
Pati Lokam Gatavadu.
Pati Lokam Gatavadhu.
Yamva Atma Vidam Dhuryo.
Yamva Atma Vidham Dhuryo.
Vainya Prapa Chutashraya.
Vainyah Prapa Achuktashrayah.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The great sage Maitreya continued speaking, My dear Vidu, when the wives of the denizens of heaven were thus talking amongst themselves, Queen Archi reached the planet which her husband Mahārāja Pṛthu, the topmost self-realized soul, had attained. According to Vedic scriptures, a woman who dies with her husband or enters into the fire in which her husband is burning also enters the same planet her husband attains. So this is what the Vedas are saying, that when the woman, that's the reason the woman would do the sati, so she can go to the higher planet. In this material world, there is a planet known as Patilok, just as there is a planet known as Pitralok. But in this verse, the word Patilok does not refer to any planet within this material universe. For Pṛthu Maharaj, being topmost among self-realized souls, certainly returned home back to Godhead and attained one of the Vaikuntha planets. So Pṛthu Maharaj, a pure devotee of the Lord, so of course he went back to Godhead, and Queen Archi is also gone back to Godhead by being faithful to her husband. Queen Archi also entered Patilok, but this planet is not in the material universe, for she actually entered the planet which her husband attained. In the material world also, when a woman dies with her husband, she again unites with him in the next birth. So, Deepika, you had this question, so your Prabhupada is answering. Similarly, Maharaj Pṛthu and Queen Archi united in the Vaikuntha planets. In the Vaikuntha planets, they are husbands and wives, but there is no question of their giving birth to children or having sex life. In the Vaikuntha planets, both husbands and wives are extraordinarily beautiful, and they are attracted to one another, but they do not enjoy sex life. Indeed, they consider sex not to be very relishable because both husband and wife are always absorbed in Krishna consciousness and in glorifying and chanting the glories of the Lord. So there are husband and wives in Vaikuntha planets, but everyone is all concerned to give pleasure to Krishna. Krishna is the center of everyone's lives in Vaikuntha. So everyone is absorbed in hearing and chanting. One may think, okay, I'll hear and chant in the material world, and after I get liberated, I'll become God myself, so I don't need to hear and chant anymore. But in the spiritual world, the hearing and chanting continues. In fact, the Lord is personally present there, so it becomes even more relishable. According to Bhaktivinoda Thakur also, a husband and wife can turn the home into a place as good as Vaikuntha, even while in this material world. Being absorbed in Krishna consciousness, even in this world, husband and wife can live in Vaikuntha simply by installing the deity of the Lord within the home and serving the deity according to the directions of the Shastras. In this way, they will never feel the sex urge. That is the test of advancement in devotional service. One who is advanced in devotional service is never attracted by sex life. And as soon as one becomes detached from sex life and proportionately attached to the service of the Lord, he actually experiences living in the Vaikuntha planets. So Prabhupada is telling us practically how we can live in Vaikuntha even while in this body, making the temple, making the home a temple by installing the deity and worshipping the deity. In the ultimate issue, there is actually no material world. But when one forgets the service of the Lord and engages himself in the service of his senses, he is said to be living in the material world. So why is Prabhupada saying actually there is no material world? The pure devotee is always with Krishna. From Krishna's point of view, everything is his energy. Everything belongs to him. This is, we make the distinction that we don't want to be with Krishna. So then this world becomes material world. But the pure devotee, even while he is here in the material world, he's living in Vaikuntha because he sees everything as belonging to Krishna. And he engages everything in Krishna's service. Is that okay?
Yes. Yes.
Itham bhutanubhavosau
Ittam bhuta anubhavaso
Pṛthu sa bhagavatamaha
Pṛthu sa bhagavatam tamaha
kirtitam tasya charitam
kirtitam tasya charitam
uddhama charitasya te.
uddhama charitasya te.
Maitreya continued, the greatest of all devotees, Maharaj Pṛthu, was very powerful, and his character was liberal, magnificent, and magnanimous. Thus I have described him to you as far as possible. In this verse, the word Bhagavatamaha is very significant, for the word Bhagavat is used especially to refer to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as the word Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is derived from the word Bhagavat. Sometimes, however, we see that the word Bhagavan is used for great personalities like Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and Narad Muni. This is the case with Pṛthu Maharaj, who is described here as the best of the Bhagavans or the best of the Lords. A person can be so addressed only if he's a great personality who exhibits extraordinary and uncommon features, or who attains the greatest goal after his disappearance, or who knows the difference between knowledge and ignorance. In other words, the word Bhagwan should not be used for ordinary persons. So here, Prabhupada is saying that Maitreya Muni is referring to Pṛthu Maharaj as Bhagwan, Lord. Somebody is really great. That's why it's being used, like Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, we say. Bhagwan, Shiv Bhagwan, we say. Or even here Prabhupada is mentioning sometimes Narad Muni. So it doesn't mean that they have become God. Nobody can become God, but it's just giving them that respect because they are such great personalities. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ya idam samahat punyam
Ya idam
Idam
so
tu mahat
mahat
punyam
punyam
shraddhaya vahita pathet
Shraddhaya
Shraddhaya
avahit
avahita
pathet
shavayek shrunuyat vapi
Shravye shrunuyat vapi
Shravane
saprito padavim iyat.
Sa
Sapruto
pritho
Padavim
padavim
Iyat.
iyat.
Any person who describes the great characteristics of King Pṛthu with faith and determination, whether he reads or hears of them himself, or helps others to hear of them, is certain to attain the very planet which Maharaj Pṛthu attained. In other words, such a person also returns home to the Vaikuntha planets, back to Godhead. So this is the Falashruti, the result we get by hearing about Pṛthu Maharaj. In the execution of devotional service, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu is specially stressed. This means that bhakti or devotional service begins by hearing and chanting about Vishnu. When we speak of Vishnu, we also refer to that which relates to Vishnu. In the Shiv Puran, Lord Shiva recommends Vishnu worship to be the topmost worship, and that better than Vishnu worship. So Parvati Devi asks Lord Shiva, and this comes in Shiv Puran, which is the best type of worship? And Lord Shiva says the worship of Lord Vishnu is the best. Then he says that better than worship of Vishnu, what could be better than worship of Vishnu? Is worship of the Vaishnava or anything that is related to Vishnu. So see how kind Krishna is, that he is keeping the worship of his devotee as higher than worshipping himself. Krishna says one who is my devotee is not really my devotee, but who is a devotee of my devotee is my devotee. So because Krishna really glorifies his devotees, he himself worships his devotees. The fact is explained herein that hearing and chanting about a Vaishnava is as good as hearing and chanting about Vishnu. For Maitreya has explained that anyone who hears about Pṛthu Maharaj with attention also attains the planet which Maharaj Pṛthu attained. So we can see this is liberation, no? That one can go back home, back to Godhead just by hearing Bhagavatam. By hearing about Pṛthu Maharaj, one can go back home, back to Godhead with faith, with determination. So hearing and chanting about Krishna or his pure devotees, that is devotional. This is devotional service. So we can see it's so different if we are hearing about some great personality in the material world who's not a pure devotee of the Lord. That does not give us a benefit to go back home, back to Godhead. And here, by hearing about Pṛthu Maharaj, we can go back home, back to Godhead. Because someone may say, no, oh, this happened so many gazillions of years ago, and what relevance does it have to me? What will I do about hearing about him? Well, by hearing about him with faith and determination, we can go back home. No more need to be in the material world. There is no duality between Vishnu and the Vaishnava, and this is called Advaya Gyan. A Vaishnava is as important as Vishnu, and therefore Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur wrote in his Guru Ashtaka, Sakshat Dharitvena Samasta Sastrer Uktas Tatha Bhavayata Eva Sarpe Kintu Prabhoya Priya Eva Tasya Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam. The spiritual master is honored as much as the Supreme Lord because he is the most confidential servitor of the Lord. This is acknowledged in all revealed scriptures and is followed by all authorities. Therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master, who is a bona fide representative of Sri Hari. So, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, the Guru Ashtakam which we sing every day, we sing that the spiritual master is honored as much as the Supreme Lord. He's not God, but he's a representative of God. He's the confidential servant of the Lord, and that's why he is given this equal respect. As we say, no, if the diplomat, if the Indian government from India sends a diplomat to Taiwan, so he'll be given the same respect as the president. No, he's representing the president. He's going to be given the same respect. Similarly, the Supreme Vaishnava is the spiritual master, and he is non-different from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is said that sometimes Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu used to chant the names of the gopis. Some of the Lord's students tried to advise him to chant the name of Krishna instead. But upon hearing this, Caitanya Mahaprabhu became very angry with his students. The controversy on this subject reached a point that after this incident, Caitanya Mahaprabhu decided to take sannyas because he was not taken very seriously in his grahast ashram. So Lord Chaitanya, he was a teacher, he had many students. First he was teaching logic, nyaya, grammar. Then he became a devotee. So when he became a devotee, he was teaching all the scriptures from the devotional point of view. That's all he would speak of. So one day he was chanting the names of the gopis. His students told him, why are you chanting name of gopi? So now Lord Chaitanya said, if people become offensive against me, how will I be able to give everyone Krishna prema? I have come to give everyone Krishna prema. But if they become offensive to me, then they won't be able to get it. So it's better that I take sannyas, because in India, at least 500 years ago, sannyasi would be given great respect. Automatically, people would bow down to him. So after this incident, Lord Chaitanya made up his mind to take sannyas. The point is that since Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chanted the names of the gopis, worship of the gopis or the devotees of the Lord is as good as devotional service rendered directly to the Lord. It is also stated by the Lord himself that devotional service to his devotees is better than service offered directly to him. Sometimes the Sahajya class of devotees are interested only in Krishna's personal pastimes to the exclusion of the activities of the devotees. This type of devotee is not on a very high level, but one who sees the devotee and the Lord on the same level has further progressed. The devotees are always with Krishna and Krishna is always with the devotees. So one who's an advanced devotee, he takes great pleasure in hearing about the devotees of Krishna. Like Lord Chaitanya himself set the example. He would relish hearing pastimes of Dhruv Maharaj and Prahlad Maharaj. And he would ask Gadadhar Pandit to reread those pastimes specifically. So that's the reason Bhagavatam is so important, because Bhagavatam is full of narrations of the pure devotees of Krishna and narrations of Krishna's incarnations, expansions, and Krishna himself. Is that okay?
So is it because of this that we say that if we do Nitai Gaur Hari deity worship, then it is more easier because he's more merciful and उसमें पाप कम लगता है. Is it that?
Yes, it's true, because by following Lord Chaitanya, we are following a devotee, because Lord Chaitanya came in the mood of a devotee. He came in the mood. So this is the reason that we can easily approach Krishna by taking mercy of Lord Chaitanya. Otherwise Krishna is Manushyanam Sahasreshu. Krishna says it's very difficult to approach me. But by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, now it's become easy for us to approach Krishna. By chanting his name, we can approach him. So by worshipping Gaur Nitai, then we can easily approach Krishna. And this Sankirtana movement, as Krishna had his Ras Leela with the gopis, this Sankirtana movement is the Ras Leela of Lord Chaitanya. Spreading the holy name. Yes. Yes, thank you for bringing up this very important point. Because also the Shastras state, that one who does Vaidhi Bhakti will reach only up to Vaikuntha. The highest goal is to reach up to Golok. Golok can be reached only by following the footsteps of a Brajbasi. And Lord Chaitanya, he's in the mood of Radharani. So by following Lord Chaitanya, one can easily approach Radha Krishna. And how to get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, get the mercy of Lord Nityananda. How to get the mercy of Lord Nityananda, get the mercy of the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. How to get the mercy of the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, get the mercy of the spiritual master, the pure devotee, and the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Is that okay?
Yeah. So that's why we always ask to sing the bhajans of the pure devotees, the acharyas, the 6 Goswamis, right? So that we are in
Yeah,
that
because,
mood and the purification
yes,
could happen because they are the pure devotees, right?
yes, yes. The purification will happen because, as you said, the
Mm,
mood is the proper mood, how to approach Krishna, how to pray to Krishna. And so by singing the bhajans of the
mm,
great Vaishnava acharyas, our heart becomes clean. We
mm.
can approach Radha Krishna in that way.
I remember Amrendra Prabhu said in one of his lecture that sometimes we think that we are just singing a bhajan and how will it purify me? But the acharya who sang it, it is his power that will purify you there. Like if you sing Narottam Das Thakur, he's such a pure devotee, acharya, that because he sang it, you are just repeating through his words, your heart will purify because they are that is the true, that is very pure prayer, not like any maid or anything, but it has the power of Narottam Das Thakur wish prayers. So
Yeah, yes. By singing Narottam Das Thakur's bhajans, we are serving him. By serving a great devotee, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. And then what happened? Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu. By serving the devotee, the Bhagavats, our hearts get purified. Yes. Yes. That's why we always recommended to sing the prayers of the great devotees, the acharyas. And not sing the prayers which may be popular but are not bona fide.
right.
So, it's almost time. So shall we stop here? I'm not sure if this is the last one or there's still more verses, right?
No,
I
we
think.
have more. We have more. We have
Yeah,
more. This
more.
is not the last. Yeah, we have more.
Okay, so we'll stop here for today.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Right. Thank you so much. Pṛthu Maharaj ki jai, Shri
Jai.
Prabhupada ki jai,
Jai.
Gaur Bhaktavinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Jai.
Thank you
Hare
so
Krishna.
much for listening and joining, and Hari Bol.